here again with you. Today we're going to be talking about the U.S. progressive tax bracket of 2019, most updated information here for you. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you been at work and you're looking at picking up overtime and someone tells you, hey, you better be careful with that. You're going to work so much it's going to put you up in the next tax bracket and then you're going to be losing money. Well, let me tell you this. You can never lose money by working more, and I'm going to dispel that myth today. So let's take, for example, our friend who makes $80,000 a year, okay? So, and after you take away the standard deduction of 2019 is $12,000 for an individual, because we'll say that person is single. You can be single, married, or head of household, which means you're unmarried but pay more than 50% of the household taxes and home upkeep and have at least one dependent. I didn't put the rates over here, but it's between single and married. So we'll say they're single. They're making $80,000 a year. We subtract that $12,000 standard deduction. We'll have another video on standard versus itemizing deductions, but the vast majority of people will take the standard deduction. So $68,000 of that money is essentially taxable. So what happens is they pay 10% on every dollar between $0 and $9,700. So the first $9,700, they're going to pay 10%. So what it ends up being is $970 there, okay? And why they call it progressive? We move to the next tax bracket, okay? For every dollar in a year they make between $9,701 and $39,475, okay, they pay 12%. So essentially what you end up doing is taking, because this person makes $68,000, you end up taking the next bracket, $39,475 minus $9,701 times 12%, you get this number. So they pay $3,573 on that next bracket. But because they're a higher earner, they go up to the next one. Okay? Now we discern that their taxable income was $68,000. So you end up taking $68,000 minus $39,476, and that's going to be roughly $29,000 times 22%, and you get $6,275 from this tax bracket. They're marginal. They're the highest tax bracket they'll get into, and then you get the total amount that they owe in income tax federally being $10,818. Now I didn't put the rest of the tax brackets down here, but you can see they keep going up. 24%, 32%, 35%, 37%. So even if our friend with $80,000 worked a bunch of overtime, got above into the next tax bracket, it's not like the whole amount of his money is going to be taxed at 24%. Just every dollar that he makes more than $84,200 would be taxed at that 24%. So yeah, you're going to be in the next tax bracket, but you're never going to lose money by doing that. You're just going to pay a slightly higher rate just on those dollars that you make greater than 84, which would be, once you pass a certain point, will be all the dollars. But again, very little amount of actual increase there, okay? So pick up those overtime shifts, okay? So that is how the progressive tax system works. Again, remember, you do have to pay FICA. On top of that, FICA is essentially Social Security plus Medicare tax. Social Security being the welfare program that works for those who are over 65. You can start taking it 62, 65, 67. And you pay into that when you're working, and then the government sends you a check once you hit that age. State income taxes are between 1 and 10%, depending on the state you live. Actually, a lot of states have no income tax. Florida, Alaska, Nevada, many more, they don't actually have income tax. The rest of the states have a very wide, each state manages it. On average, it's probably around 4 to 5%, depending on how much you make, but it's progressive just like this. So the first amount of dollars get taxed lower, then the next amount get taxed. So that's, in general, it's progressive. Some states, I think Colorado does have a flat rate for everybody, but in general, most of them are progressive. So that's kind of in general, the taxes you will pay. The federal income tax, state income tax, and then FICA. So that's how our progressive tax system works. The next time someone tells you, hey, don't work overtime, be careful, watch the numbers. You don't have to watch the numbers. Just know that you might be making just a couple percent less, maybe paying 2% more tax if you happen to bump into the next overtime. For most of us, that's nothing that we would be concerned about. Let that pass right by. So this is your personal financial professor with you again today. I'm going to sign off. We'll see you again soon. Take care.